FIFA Ultimate Team is so much more in-depth than what we used to have. There's so many different settings, so many different game modes, and so many different search and filters, and this game has expanded over the years that there's now also loads of different functions, tricks, and tips that can make your life a hell of a lot easier. So in this video, we are going to be going through 12 different tips that can make your life incredibly easy within FIFA 22 Ultimate Team. But before we do get into the video, if you're looking to get some very easy and cheap coins, then there is no better place than Mule Factory. Head over there to get yourself some cheap, fast FIFA 22 coins, completely reliable, and if you use Fnatic 5 at checkout, you'll also get yourself a 5% discount. Link can be found in the description down below. And getting back into the video, the tips that we're going to be going through may be obvious to long-time and even pro players, but for new players, this really should help be more productive in FIFA 22 Ultimate Team. This will allow you to have more trades, play slightly better, and be more profitable within the game. The first tip is to use the unassigned option to list different types of investments or trades. Let's say you're investing in one player, but you want about 10, maybe even 20 cards as that investment. Let's say that you're looking to invest in fodder, but you're only looking at one player, but you want to get around 10 to 20 cards for that investment. It's not worth you bidding on all of these cards and leaving them within your watch list. This is a waste of space. You also can't send them all over to your club because you'll only be able to send one and the rest will all be duplicates. And you can't send the rest of those duplicates over to the transfer list because, yet again, it's a waste of space. This is where you just leave it as unassigned. You leave it here, do nothing with it, just back out of the menu, and they'll always be there. You can actually stack your unassigned to be hundreds, even thousands of players. And they're all ready for you to either store to your club if you want to use them, or you go and send them to the transfer list and list them on the transfer market once you want to go and sell them on. The second tip is that you can save your packs, and there's no limit to how many you can save. You're allowed to save unlimited packs within the store. You don't need to open them straight away. Now once you do this, you'll notice that it does say store 100 packs, but when you enter there, it's actually more than 100 packs. There's only a limit on the text that is actually displayed. There is also a limit to how many packs you can see within the store because I believe it is only 30. But every single pack that you are given from EA is saved to your store, and they can stay there for as long as you want. If you are looking to see every single one of your packs that you've saved because the console is limited, then you can go over to the web app and you'll see every single pack that is listed. There is no limit to this. The next tip is that you can change your shot elevation with the FIFA Trainer. Now for this, I recommend just going into a squad battles match, and as soon as you get into gameplay, you pause the game and you'll go to the FIFA Trainer. For a lot of this, it can be very irritating, but you can set it to just show gameplay mechanics, and you can set it to be whatever gameplay mechanics you want. Normally, I just like having a bar above my player's head to show the power, as well as it helps with timed finishing. And if you want to copy mine, these are the settings that I have within my FIFA Trainer, but you can really set it to anything. If you're struggling with any aspect of the game, I do recommend that you go and actually turn that setting on to actually help you, and then turn the rest off. For me, I find it incredibly irritating to have every single thing about the FIFA Trainer on. This is why I turn the majority of it off, apart from one setting. The next tip is to use the right analog stick within game to select defenders. Whilst you're playing, if your opponent has the ball and they're running towards your defense, you can press the right analog stick in and it will select 4 of the closest defenders to the ball. And then you can have the analog stick to go up, left, right, or even down to select the closest defender that you want. This helps rather than spamming LB or even just the right analog stick to change the player, because sometimes it gets it wrong. Sometimes the game sets you up to have the complete wrong player. Pressing the right analog stick in and then just going left, right, up, or down makes life a hell of a lot easier. The next tip, heading over to the transfer market, you can manually adjust player prices rather than holding right to get the price that you want. You do this by pressing X or square depending on your platform. Most do the adjusting price filters where they just hold the right analog stick or hold right on their D-pad up until they get to the price that they want. But this can take a long time, especially if you're bulk bidding on players and their price is right between their minimum price range as well as their maximum price range. I didn't actually think that this was going to be a tip. I thought most people knew this up until I was watching Twitch the other day, and I saw a lot of traders doing the exact same thing, where they just hold right until they get to the price that they're looking for. The next tip, if you're looking to find in general all special cards rather than looking at a specific type of card, then you can just do that by going over to the transfer market and pressing right stick to flip between bronze, silver, gold, and special. It sounds so simple, but I got so many messages at the beginning of FIFA 22 Ultimate Team where people wanted to know how they can switch between general bronze, silver, gold, and also special cards, and not just focus on a specific type of card. I think this is because it's so obvious right at the beginning when you actually log onto the web app, because it tells you right in front of you the quality is different to the rarity. But once you actually get into FIFA 22 Ultimate Team, it just becomes habit for you to select quality and select one of the versions of the card rather than going across. And this will help out massively if you're looking to do trader methods around special cards in general. This is what I do, and I've been able to make a lot of coins from it. The next tip, when you go through squad builder challenges and you're doing bronze upgrades, silver upgrades, or gold upgrades, it's worth just using the squad builder setting right at the beginning rather than manually bringing in players from your club individually one by one until you actually finish the team. You can quite simply and be extremely efficient just by selecting the squad builder, going down to squad builder, and then selecting quality as bronze and then setting it. The game will then fill every single position with bronze players, and there you go. You've managed to finish this SBC in just a couple seconds, whereas a lot of people are just going through this and putting players into this team individually. The next tip, every single day you should check your preview packs. Now, most people preview their gold packs every single day. They look at a 7.5k pack, see what's in there, compare the player prices to see whether or not they can sell the players that are part of that pack more than the pack is actually worth. But those exact same people that do the gold pack don't bother to do the silver pack, despite the silver pack having a much higher chance of giving you profit. With the FIFA 22 market, it is completely trashed with the price of what most players go for. Most gold players are at their minimum price unless there's a massive promo coming. But with silver players, not as many people open silver packs, and typically you can get a rare silver player that goes for about 1,000 coins on average. There are some that go for a hell of a lot more, and there are of course some that go for a little bit less. But typically you'll get a silver player which is more than your average gold card. And it's just because there's not as many. So every single time I preview a silver pack, worst case scenario, I'll be losing just a couple hundred coins, in which it's not worth doing. But in most times, I'm able to make about a couple thousand coins every single day. And as soon as I've previewed that pack, accepted it, and sold those players on, I'm able to preview another silver pack. The most success that I've had from this is actually previewing 6 silver packs in a row where each of them was able to make me profit. It was only the 7th pack after which unfortunately I was going to lose coins, in which it was no longer worth it. So definitely preview the packs, especially the silver packs. Moving on, the next tip, if you're stuck in divisions and you've won all 7 of your matches for that week, there is no point in you playing anymore. You will not get a better reward unless you're able to climb the divisions, and if you can't climb the divisions, your time is better spent elsewhere. This is where you really should be moving on to other game modes, such as FUT Champions Playoffs. It doesn't matter whether or not you're able to qualify or not, but you're able to be rewarded win or lose. If you qualify, that's great, because then you can even go into FUT Champions where, yet again, it doesn't matter whether or not you win or lose, you'll still be rewarded. And after you've completed all of that and you've still got time, this is where you can go into squad battles or even FUT Draft. It's only worth you going back into divisions again once you need to go and win those 7 matches. It's only worth going back into divisions again once you've been given your reward and it's completely reset for the next week. That is when you need to go and win those 7 matches again. And as soon as you win those 7 matches, if you're still stuck in that division and no matter how many games you play after, you're still in the same division, then you just go through the whole cycle again. FUT Champions Playoffs, FUT Champions Finals, squad battles, and then FUT Draft if there's any time left. Moving on, the next tip is to have a starting formation just for chemistry and then change it in game. The amount of people that submit teams during the live streams which have a formation selected just because that's what gives them the most chem with their players within their team is ridiculous. But what's even more ridiculous is the people that then have a formation which is their favorite, but then they're playing with players that they don't like, yet again, just for chemistry. You can find a perfect middle ground where you start off with a default formation. It doesn't need to be a formation that you're going to use, it's just a formation there for chemistry. You get chemistry with with all of the players that you're looking to play with, and then you'll go into your custom tactics, where you change the other formations to be something that you do want to play with in game. You'll put the players in the positions that you want them to play in, and it doesn't matter where they are because they've already got full chem from that initial starting formation. Now you're able to play with the formation you want as well as with the players you want within the correct positions that you want, and you are not negatively impacted. The next tip is to buy anyone above 83 rated or any team of the week players when they're cheap. You can very easily know when a player is at their lower end when you go over to the likes of Footbin and you can see the graph of the player's price history. Typically, if you're looking at a player and they're at that lower end, for example, if you're looking at an 83 rated player and they're anywhere between 800 to 900 coins, it's worth buying them and storing them to your club. Now, I can't tell you how long you need to hold that player, but at some point within the future, they're going to be used for some type of SBC. When that happens, they always shoot up. This is the case for anyone above 83 rated as well as most team of the week players. Every single week on a Wednesday, I will look at a previous team of the week that is just about to expire, and I will buy all the players which is less than 20,000 coins and send them to my club. I will just keep them there, and gradually as time goes on, they slowly increase up until a promo is released which requires team of the week players, in which they shoot up. And so far, I haven't made a loss in any of these investments. You just need to be patient when buying and holding. And the final tip for today's video is if you are struggling with FUT Champions finals, then just quit the matches. With how EA have laid out FUT Champions this year, you could quit all 20 of your matches and you'll still be rewarded quite fairly. It'll take about 30 to 40 minutes for you to go into each game, score an own goal and forfeit the game, for you to get the loss, for your opponent to get the win, and at the end of it you'll still get a few player picks, as well as you'll still also be able to get some gold packs, coins and some FUT Champions qualification points. If you're like me and you do want to play a few matches within FUT Champions but you don't want to stress of it all, then I go through the first 10 matches where I'm looking to forfeit, and I won't lose all 10 because by the time I get to the 6th or 7th game, normally I come up to other opponents who are also looking to quit the game. I come up to other players who will score an own goal before me, and then they'll forfeit the match and I'll get the win. So after 10 matches, I end up being 2-8, which still isn't a good record, but it's taken me about 10 minutes for me to actually finish all 10 of those matches. Plus now I've got a very low skill rating, so by the time I go into my 11th match, I'm most likely coming up to another player who's going to forfeit their game, in which it's an easy win for me, or I'm just coming up to an opponent who isn't as good. This is now the way in which I play through FUT Champions, and it's made life so much easier. No stress, just fun and games and playing through FUT Champions whilst still getting a very good reward at the end. But anyway guys, here is 12 different tips that you can use when going through FIFA 22 Ultimate Team. If you've got any extra tips that you think belong as part of this video, then please feel free to leave them in the comment section down below. But anyway guys, I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did enjoy, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. But for now, I'm going to see ya.